Thousands scream, boulders fall, and Empire's gate holds against the greatest army on earth. Alexander's Macedonians have never known a trap like this one. It is 330 BCE. Alexander leads the finest fighting force the ancient world has ever assembled. Fresh from burning Persepolis, his army pushes deeper into the Persian heartland without rest. The men are confident. They have crushed Persia at Issus, at Gaugamela. They feel unstoppable. But one Persian commander has not surrendered, has not fled. Ariobarzanes still stands. He commands roughly 25,000 men and chooses his ground with ruthless precision. The Persian Gate is a narrow mountain pass cutting through the Zagros range like a wound. Towering cliffs rise on both sides. The path below is barely wide enough for men marching close. Wind moves through the pass in strange cold currents. Sound echoes in ways that confuse the ear. Ariobarzanes knows this place. His men have fortified the high ground for weeks beforehand. Stone walls rise across the narrowest choke point, blocking any direct advance through the pass. Archers are positioned above on both ledges, invisible until the moment they choose to strike. Boulders have been rolled to the cliff edges, waiting for a single command to be released below. Alexander does not know the full scale of what waits for him inside that narrow passage ahead. His scouts report a wall, a defensive line, nothing more. The trap beyond it remains hidden. Late in the winter of 330 BCE, Alexander orders the advance into the Persian Gate Pass. The vanguard moves first, thousands of Macedonian boots crunching forward across frozen ground. The pass tightens around them. Cliffs close in. The sky above narrows to a pale strip of light. Then the wall comes into view. Ariobarzanes stands behind it, watching, perfectly still, waiting. Alexander surveys the obstacle. He has broken walls before. He orders the assault to begin now. The Macedonians push forward, shields locked, formations tight, discipline holding under pressure. Then the sky disappears. Persian arrows fall in sheets from both cliffs simultaneously and without warning. Men drop, shields splinter. The tight formation that once protected them now traps them inside. Before they can respond, boulders begin to fall. Massive stones hurtle down both cliff faces. The sound is unlike anything the soldiers have heard, a deep, grinding thunder from above them. Rocks smash into packed Macedonian ranks. Men are crushed where they stand, unable to move freely. The pass offers no escape. The cliffs are walls. The path behind is clogged with their own men. Ariobarzanes launches a forward assault from behind the wall into the shattered Macedonian front. Persian infantry pour through gaps in their own wall, striking into the stunned and bleeding vanguard. The Macedonian formation breaks apart. Men fall back into each other in the narrow, bleeding corridor. This is the moment Alexander's army nearly shatters, in a frozen mountain pass far from home. Stay with this story. What happens next will define how Alexander's greatest campaign survives. Officers shout orders that dissolve into the noise of falling stone and screaming wounded men. Shields are raised then smashed down again by the relentless weight of Persian projectiles from above. The rear guard cannot advance to help. The dead and the dying choke the pass between them. For the first time in years, Alexander's army does not know what to do. The discipline is cracking. Alexander watches from behind the chaos. He sees the trap fully now. Every detail becomes clear. He calls the retreat, a decision that cost him pride but saves thousands of lives from total destruction. The Macedonians pull back out of the pass, leaving their dead behind in the narrow frozen corridor. Ariobarzanes holds the gate. He has done what no Persian commander since Thermopylae dared attempt. For days, Alexander makes camp and thinks. He questions every prisoner and every local guide he finds. He learns there is a second path, a goat trail winding high through the mountains around the pass. One prisoner, some sources name him Lycidas, agrees to lead the Macedonians through this hidden route. The trail is treacherous, narrow ledges, ice-crusted rock, darkness pressing down from every side. Alexander splits his force. Craterus holds position at the main pass, keeping fires lit, keeping noise. Ariobarzanes must believe the Macedonians are still camped and preparing another frontal assault. Meanwhile, Alexander leads a chosen force quietly into the mountains before dawn breaks across the sky. Thousands of men move in near silence through frozen terrain that no army has crossed in formation before. The cold is brutal. Torches are forbidden. Men feel their way forward in the black mountain dark. One wrong step here means a fall into nothing. No sound, no warning, just the mountain swallowing a man. Yet they move, because Alexander moves. Where he goes, his men have always found the will to follow. This moment, silent and unseen, is where the battle is truly won. Long before the swords are raised, as dawn begins to gray the sky, Alexander's force reaches a position above the Persian encampment below. The Persians sleep. Their fires are low. They believe the Macedonians are still massed at the gate. Ariobarzanes has no idea that death has climbed above him through the night without a single torch. Alexander divides his forces into 3 columns for simultaneous strikes from multiple directions at once. Parmenion's son Philotas and Conus lead separate forces to close off all Persian retreat routes below. Every piece of the trap is placed precisely. This time it is Alexander who is building the enclosure. The signal is given. The Macedonians descend into the Persian position from above with sudden violence. War cries echo off the same cliffs that Persian archers used to destroy the Macedonian vanguard days before. The sleeping Persian camp wakes not to dawn, but to the sound of Macedonian iron cutting through their lines. Ariobarzanes reacts with the speed of a seasoned commander. He does not freeze. He does not surrender. He pulls his men into a fighting formation under direct attack. He is outnumbered and encircled but fights. The resistance is fierce. These are not broken men fleeing. They are soldiers defending their last ground. Persian infantry meet the Macedonians blade for blade in the pale early light of the mountain morning. Craterus, hearing the sounds of battle above, advances through the Persian Gate from the front simultaneously. The wall that stopped Alexander 3 days ago is now held by men fighting on 2 sides at once and losing. The Persian defensive position collapses not from cowardice, but from the sheer geometry of the encirclement. There is no direction that does not hold a Macedonian blade. The trap has become a perfect cage around them. Ariobarzanes fights through the collapse. He attempts to break out eastward toward Persepolis with a remnant. Some ancient sources say he reaches the gates of Persepolis, only to find them closed by fearful locals inside. Whether this detail is precise or not, the outcome is the same. He finds no sanctuary, no relief, no escape. Ariobarzanes dies fighting. He does not kneel. He does not ask for terms. He falls with his sword in hand. His name will not be given the fame it deserves for centuries, buried beneath Alexander's blinding legend. But on this morning, in these mountains, he made the greatest army on earth bleed and retreat and rethink. That matters. That endures. Even in defeat, what Ariobarzanes achieved here was something extraordinary. With the Persian Gate broken and its defenders destroyed, the road to Persepolis lies fully open ahead. Alexander's army presses through the pass they could not cross 3 days ago, now walking without resistance. The bodies of their own dead still lie in the corridor. Men pass the fallen without slowing their march. Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of the Achaemenid Empire, awaits them at the end of this mountain road. The city does not resist. Its gates open. The wealth accumulated across 2 centuries of Persian power waits inside. What Alexander does there, and why, belongs to a different story. This story ends here, in the cold pass. The Persian Gate is silent now. Wind moves through it as it always has, indifferent to what men do below. The stones that crushed Macedonian soldiers still rest where they fell. The wall still stands in broken pieces. History remembers Alexander's genius in flanking the position. It rarely pauses to remember the wall itself. It rarely remembers the man who built it, who manned it, who forced the greatest conqueror alive to retreat. Ariobarzanes of Persis held this pass with courage and tactical brilliance against impossible odds alone. He could not hold it forever. No man could, but he held it long enough to make the cost of taking it real. That is the truth the rocks of the Zagros Mountains still carry quietly inside them to this very day. The Battle of the Persian Gate was not simply a Macedonian victory, it was also a Persian act of defiance. The cliff does not care. It simply rises and the light fades and the stone remains. The mountains were here before Persia. They will remain long after every empire turns to dust. One cliff holds the last of the light. The other has already accepted the dark. A boot print, a spear, a man was here. That is all history leaves of most who fought. The light is gone. The pass is dark. The mountains remain. The story needs nothing more.